What's up, fam? I'm Jazz, and this is Blackxecutive, a networking podcast for Black creative pros by Black creative pros, sharing inspirational stories, actionable advice, and giving away the game to succeed in your business and your career. Join the network where dreamers become doers and the aspiring become inspired. Listen and watch on blackxecutive.com. Let's get to it. What's up, Blackxecutive fam? I'm your host, Jazz, and this is another episode of Season 2 of Blackxecutive Podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of talking to one of my compadres from my home state of Arkansas, serial entrepreneur Carlos Harden. Carlos is a successful businessman, owner of his own janitorial service, trucking company, and he has a background in the tech space as a project manager. So just like keep checking boxes, y'all. He's also co-founded his own stock and investments group, specifically aiming to improve Black male investor strategy. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
Hey, thank you for the invitation.
I love that you have this mic, like it just tickled
I
my
might
soul.
start singing.
You know what? I'm with it because you feel like in a 5 heartbeat scene right now. Like
I was trying to keep it off the camera, but I know if you can hear me, or the lag
no,
issue was gonna be there. So it
you
sounds like
good.
we're good though.
We're
Okay.
good. We're good to go. We're good. So Carlos, I know who you are, but listeners don't. So who are you?
Who is Carlos Harden?
Mm.
Um, to answer that question, you got to go through a whole lot of layers. I mean, it's not a simple answer to that question. I mean, I'm someone that's been in a lot of different spaces and did a lot of different things. But I guess the short answer to who is Carlos Harden is just someone that's just a deeply caring person, warm-hearted, and I just want to see everyone succeed. I want to see everyone happy and enjoy the things in life that they want to enjoy. That to sum it up would be who Carlos Harden is.
You know what? And I know you well enough to second that. So I think that's pretty accurate. I think that's accurate. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, of course, the business side of your life. So, of course, I went over your intro and all your many, many things you're into. But before we kind of get into all of that, you took the traditional path and you obtained a degree, got a job, and then pivoted into entrepreneurship. So, can you talk a little bit about that path?
Well, actually, my path wasn't traditional. So,
Mm.
I went to school and I was in school for a few years, well, a lot of years. And then I didn't get my degree at first.
Mm.
And then I began working and I was able to be a part of some things that allowed me to go back to school, and my degree was paid for
Okay.
through a company that I worked for, and then I was able to venture into more of the technical side of things, learn a lot of different things, and as
Mhm.
soon as I got my degree, I got a job as a business analyst. And then from there, it just took off from there. The sky was basically the limit. But basically to those out there that feel like, oh, I didn't succeed at getting my degree this time, doesn't mean that the world is over. I mean, there's
Mm.
plenty of different avenues that you can find that you can choose to make ends meet, or even, I mean, attain a level of success in your life to where you can circle back around to getting a degree and then push it forward from there. Um,
Mhm.
so, I mean, that's just to, speak to those individuals that are struggling. But what sparked me getting into, being an entrepreneur, that's something that's always been a part of who I am.
Mhm.
Growing up, I grew up in a home, three generations under one roof.
Mhm.
And we were poor, didn't know we were poor because we had everything that we felt we needed. We always
Mhm.
had fun. There was a meal on the table
Right.
um, with my grandmother when we lived with her, and so we didn't know that we were lacking in any way, form, or fashion. I
Mhm.
guess is when you get introduced to the world and the things out there, the people,
Mhm.
that you meet through school or you go through college, and then that's when you kind of learn that, oh, well, I was set back. But outside of that, I mean, it's been something that's been a part of me. My father, he's always had side hustles, but one
Mm,
thing that he would always say is, "Man, I'm just not gonna work for the man my whole life." And so
mm,
for me, I would hear him say that, but I never saw the actions being put into place. So for
mm,
me, I started reading books and learning a lot of different things that could help you put into play what you need to do to put a plan together so that you're not having to work for someone else the rest of your life, and you can
mm.
have things that you want for yourself to get what you need out of life.
Yeah. First off, taught me some new information about you. Second off, love that you called out the fact that like your dad, like he would say that, but you didn't always necessarily see the action. I feel like I had a similar experience with my parents. My parents would say certain things about like the way that my dad particularly about the way the world should work and what this
Mhm.
legacy and it that kind of stuck with me, but I was the one who took it and ran with it, not him. You know,
Right.
he's just saying it, still saying it, but
Right.
I took it and ran with it, and so like the power of parents to be able to like plant those seeds, even
Mhm.
if they don't actively nourish their own seeds. Yeah.
Right. And we don't have to be mad at them.
Right, of
I
course.
think
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
know if you watch Blackish, but I watched Blackish, and it's actually taught me a lot about how to appreciate our parents' generation and the things that they
Mm.
did and what they went through, and see it
Mhm.
from
Yeah,
settle
yeah.
in and move forward with your life.
Yeah, totally feel that. Love and respect the shit out of my dad. Always talk about that. Anybody talks to me more than 10 minutes can tell you that. But it's just you observe, and I'm sure my kids, I know that you have son too. Will say the same thing about us. Like there's certain things that we talk about that maybe spark something, a seed in them, that a path that we didn't take.
Hmm.
So yeah, it just let it continue to grow and nourish. So love that. So as far as the entrepreneurship part, say that was kind of ingrained in you and you took it up on yourself and kind of ran with that. So you have like literally ran with it. Like you have I feel like every time I talk to you, you're doing something else. Like what is Carlos doing now? So like can you talk about like what was your first venture? Like how did you get into your first venture and like what are some of the challenges that you face?
I think I would say my first venture I would have to go back to selling insurance. So
Mm,
I actually sold insurance years and years ago, and I got into selling insurance after selling cars
mm,
while I was in school the first time. And so, like selling insurance and selling cars, just sales period, just puts you in a place to where you don't have to set a limit on how much you actually earn. Like
mm,
you're not limited to the hours that you put in. Is gonna say, oh, I worked, I make $8 an hour. I worked 5 hours. I'm gonna get $40.
mhm,
With sales, you put in the grind, you work, and when it starts to pay off, it's exponential. It's
mhm,
not just a set amount. And I think that was the thing that really pushed me more into becoming an entrepreneur. I mean,
mhm.
not push me into becoming an entrepreneur, but help me see that becoming an entrepreneur would really open things up a whole lot more for me.
Mm. Okay, so you start off selling cars,
Car.
selling insurance,
Hmm.
and then how did you get into, like, the janitorial? Like, I feel like that's just such a random venture to kinda get into, but
Yeah.
it worked for you.
There was a coworker that I worked with that had an opportunity. It was a franchise opportunity to get
Mm,
into a janitorial franchise, and so that's actually what basically got me into it. I was able to get into it, not spending what someone else would have had to spend to get into it.
mm,
But you know, it's it just went from there. Just getting
mhm,
into the franchise and taking care of business, and then more doors were open to us, and more
Mhm.
accounts and things of that nature were given to us, and that was a struggle though.
Mm. So it was a struggle, like, creating, those relationships to be able to secure those accounts or what?
It was a struggle during that time period because like I was working a full-time job. I was
Mm,
a full-time college student. I was taking anywhere between 12 and 16 hours a semester. And
mm,
then in the evenings I was doing these buildings. And it got to a point to where after work and after school, about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, I'm starting the buildings, and I may not get home until about 1 o'clock in the morning
ooh,
or 2 o'clock, and then I'm back up, 5 or 6, and it's all over again. So
my
that was the
goodness.
struggle. It was just you never have any time for yourself. It's just
Yeah.
constant movement, and then on top of that, to have a family that
Mhm,
you during those time periods, I sacrificed a lot of time,
mhm.
and missed out on a whole lot, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, I could see that. So, but you were able to get a little bit of that time back, like, when you graduated, so you got your degree, um,
mhm.
and then but you still had the buildings and you were still working full time, and then you kinda started to pick up this trucking company, like, that idea started to flourish a little bit, and then from there, you went out on your own. Can you talk about that transition?
Yeah, so actually with the whole thing with the trucking company, I had a my cousin's boyfriend. They came up to visit, stayed with us for a little while, and he was telling me, "Hey, I got this idea. I'm purchasing a truck, and I'm about to put it on the road." And from there, I just followed up with him, listened to him. He called me daily, let me know how
Mm,
it was going, and so I was like, "Well, hey, I might as well, try it." So uh,
mhm,
at that point, I had positioned myself to where I'm not really doing much with the janitorial. I just had my day job and you know do a little bit with janitorial, but not a lot. And so I had a little freedom. So went ahead and purchased
mhm,
the truck trailer, set up the business, and things started going. And then I had another friend that reached out, and he had a few trucks of his own. And but before he reached out, actually, I grew the trucking company from one truck to I think it was 6 trucks, and
mm,
then through like different avenues,
mhm.
hustling. And then with him, he brought over 4, so that brought us to 10, and then it went to 13, and it's just just been
Wow.
crazy there.
Okay. Now I have to ask, and if you don't wanna answer, I cut it out. But Imma have to ask. So how did it feel to go from, like you just said earlier, you kinda grew up poor, and I know you're poor, to basically running a multi-million-dollar business? Like, that's a goal that we have that's, like, seems so far, and then you hit it.
I hadn't even really like I appreciate it. I'm happy about it, but I
Mm,
honestly hadn't had the time to really just sit back and enjoy it.
mm,
And I think once I'm able to say I'm in a position to actually sit back and enjoy it, like I
mhm,
still I still work every day. I'm still,
mhm.
grinding every day. So
Yeah.
so in my mind, I guess I'm still that little poor kid that
Mhm,
I still have goals, I still have dreams, I have ambitions that I haven't reached yet. And so
mhm.
until I reach those milestones, for right now, looking back, it's fine, but I'm still that kid.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy because, like, just in, like, the what we take the 4 or 5 years I've known you, I feel like you just have taken off from there. You still like, "I'm still in step 1. I'm still"
Right.
like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I really admire that humility, that's dope. So, um, you're still working now, but working for yourself. When
Mhm.
did you know it was time for you to leave that full-time job working for someone else?
I learned when it got to a point to where I'm doing this job at the same time that I'm trying to do that job.
Mm,
Where I'm on conference calls, I'm leading conference calls, and I can't even focus on that job and give that job the respect that I should be giving it.
mm,
And because I have my own thing going on over here, that's
mhm,
when I knew it was time for me to, you know, part ways because I couldn't give them 100%.
mhm. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, especially if you're someone who's used to being like a high performer and, giving it your all, and then you're like, I just can't dedicate that time to it. And I respect that too. Like if I can't fully dedicate to it, I'm not gonna half ass it. I'm a dip.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
time to go.
yes, time to go. Time to go. So of the different ventures that you've had, which one have you found the most joy in?
Um, I would actually say the trucking company brings a lot of joy because of I mean, the money is just is crazy, but
Of course.
I would say the investment group.
Mm,
I would say the investment group because you actually get to see the journey from starting out and the individuals that we have in the group
mhm.
and how we started in the beginning and then the growth and everything that we have now. It's just looking back, it's been a real good journey.
That's the perfect setup because I was gonna ask you about that. So can you talk about the investment group and, like, what inspired you to start that in the first place?
Yeah. So, what inspired me to start the investment group was when I was selling insurance. I actually met some individuals that owned a few restaurants, and the way that they went about it was a group of them. So they pooled their money together, and then they were able to purchase. They had purchasing power. They were able to
Mm,
purchase the restaurants, one at a time because of the money that they brought into it in the beginning. But now,
mhm.
they have, sorry, they have so many of them now that but it all it took was just the beginning. The
Yeah.
group of individuals that pitched in and learned what they needed to learn to continue to grow the business, and they're enjoying the fruits of their labor. So I
Mm.
took that idea and I didn't have, millions or anything like that, but we just created a simple concept. We all put up $1,000 in the beginning, and then we did $50 a month. It's just
Mhm.
dues, and we've been challenging ourselves to learn different things about different stock. We present and we decide on what we want to purchase whenever we meet and decide to make purchases, and we just go from there.
So I think that's important to note. So you don't necessarily make it's not like a just like a solo learning group where you all learn and then make solo investments. Y'all pitch your money together and invest in like shares together. And of course people have their outside stuff too, but y'all make the decisions together.
Yeah, so like yeah, we're actually in an incorporated entity,
Mm,
and we use it. It's an investment group. Yes. So
wow.
like in the future, if we decided to, get into something big, we have that opportunity there.
Wow. That is so awesome. And y'all have that's how many years old now?
Ooh, that's a good question. It may be about it may be about 5 years old. I have to look and see. That's a good question.
You had that for our Mitchie, so it might be longer than that.
It's been a minute.
It's
Yeah.
been a minute. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome though. That's dope. And that's something I've like I know that you had that and when I first talked to you about it, that kind of inspired me to want to make like a women's investment group. But I definitely at the time, like 5 years ago, I didn't know a lick. As you know, I was constantly like, Carlos, how you do this? Carlos.
Yeah.
I did not know a lick, but I'm a lot more versed now. But I definitely can see the value in like getting together a group, strategically making decisions and investing on something together. But I imagine you have to be very strategic about who you vet to come into that group because of the nature of it.
Oh, yeah, you want to be strategic, but at the same time, you have to appreciate everyone's life experiences. So you can't really
Mm,
discount people because you can learn something from everyone. So
yeah. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. Because I keep thinking about it's like I don't know why I think of just a lot of hot debated discussion about stocks and like,
yeah,
like wait, like oh, that's not a good decision. So speaking of that, so at this time right now, there's this shorted stock fiasco that's going on with GameStop,
yeah.
AMC, and a couple of other stocks. What is your opinion on those more risky investors who are looking to take advantage of this?
Well, I mean, I guess at this point, I mean, it's you're pretty late to the party. Maybe AMC, man, I can't be giving stock advice, but
Of course, yeah, yeah.
I'll say this. I don't delve into risky
Mm,
situations.
mhm,
I'm more of a do your research and look at the history of the stock and
mhm,
then go from there. I mean, there's always going to be anomalies in the market, but
mhm.
I've looked into both of them and I can't. Well, I know AMC, I can understand why it's running, but GameStop don't know why. And at this point, I wouldn't be risking any of my money trying to get
Yeah,
into it. If you're not
yeah,
already in it, you might as well just
right.
watch from the sideline.
Right, that's how I feel. I felt, because I remember I bought in some GameStop stock, um, because my guy is a gamer, and I'm like, "You spend so much damn time on it, need to own it." But, so I remember I bought in it when it was pretty low, it was below $10, but I didn't get any. I thought he got some, and now I'm watching it, it's like 300 some dollars a share. I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
crazy.
I'm like you. I'm a very futuristic investor. Like, one thing I always think about Plug Power, which is like one of the very first stocks I invested in at $1.80 a share. And now it's up at like, 60 some dollars a
Yeah,
share. But
yeah,
but at the time I was just like, I see the future as being electric vehicles, green energy, marijuana stocks, and those are the things I invested in, and now they're starting to pay off.
yeah.
Definitely can't get with the short term.
Yeah, and that's the approach I
Yeah.
use. I mean, keep it simple as things that you use around your house. I mean, I sat my son
Mhm.
down when the pandemic first started, and because he was at home and wasn't going to school, so I said, here's an account, here's some money, and let's jot down a few things that you like. He wears
Mhm.
Nikes, likes to watch Disney Plus,
Mhm.
anything Disney. So just a number of those things that he likes, things that he uses. He has a Nintendo Switch, things
Mhm.
like that. Okay, well let's look at the stock instead of spending all your money on
Mm.
bags and shoes. When you think you want to buy some shoes, let's go buy a share of stock and
That's
just go from
smart.
there.
And so you're starting this, he's below 10, the age of 10, right? So you're starting this super young with him.
Yeah, he'll actually be 10 this year. But yeah,
Wow.
so
Wow.
he was 8 at the time. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you got him ready. That's a great way to introduce your kids to that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's look, I'm about to introduce my kids with this Roblox, like I told you offline. That Roblox IPO, I'm waiting. Because they spend all they goddamn time on Roblox. I'm sick of it. We need to own it. I'm sick of it. Anytime they have some free time, they try. I see them in there, and I'm like, Did you read today? Did you journal today? Did you
Mm,
draw today? Did you do anything else besides get on that game? Get off.
yeah, and that's something else though. I mean, with the reading, me and my wife was having a conversation with my son last night about just the importance of reading. Just something
Yeah.
as simple as that.
Hmm.
You can play video games all day long, but
Hmm.
go ahead and pick up some books right now. I still read
Yeah.
to this day, so I'm sure you'll be reading when you get older age. You might as well start reading some of the stuff I read at an earlier age than I did. So
Well, that's usually a question I say for the end, but since you just set it up so perfectly for me, what are you reading, Carlos?
I actually just it's crazy that everything is going on in the stock world. I just picked up a book on options
Mm,
yesterday, and then I also started reading Mastery by Robert Greene. So
mm,
so
okay.
that's where I am right now, reading wise.
Okay. So still reading to learn and move forward. No reading for just leisure and pleasure.
I mean that is my leisure and pleasure.
I feel that.
Um, you know, because at the end of the day, with the investing, I mean, you win. If I make the right moves and I win, that's pleasure. But leisure for me, I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Greene, 38 Laws of Power, 31
Just
Laws
yeah,
of-
48 laws of power. Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I've read a few of his books, and then
Mhm.
I know Mastery's been out for a while, but I hadn't
Mhm.
purchased any books in a while, so I
Mhm.
picked it up yesterday. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm always glad when I come across like minds because I when I ask about books and stuff, um, or people ask me, and I always say like nonfiction books. People are like, "You don't read any fiction?" I'm like, "I don't have time." If how long it takes me to read a book, I need to be reading something that's teaching me. If I want
Right.
escapism, I'm gonna watch a show for 30 minutes or an hour and go back to what I was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So just to piggyback on one more thing about ownership. So with your investment group, like, and I know it's really empowering. So that you said you called out. So if a big move happens, we can move on it, and you saw these people who like were able to own these restaurants. Can you talk a bit about the importance of ownership specifically for the Black community?
Um, the importance of ownership for the Black community. Like, I don't know if this is accurate, but someone rattled out some statistics to me, and they said that Black people own after slavery, Black people own less than 1/2% of the land in America.
Mm,
And today, Black people own less than half of 1% of the land in America today.
mm,
So I think that statement right there sums it up on how
mm.
important it is for, Black people in, our community. I don't even know how to elaborate on that or if I even should. I think people should just let that, kind of like just stick in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because with ownership comes power and the ability to do those things, like, say, "I don't wanna work at this job anymore," or, "I can't work at this job anymore, and I'm gonna walk away, and I'm okay."
Or even not even that, just the landscape of the things that are going on in America right now when it comes to Black
Mhm.
relations. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a testament to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that, yeah, there's so much going on right now, and but never been a better time to try to own some stuff. Just had a good conversation in an earlier episode about the importance of owning land right now as we prepare for this decriminalization of marijuana and what that means for Black people who own land in the South who can use that land to grow and cultivate marijuana, you know? Which I thought was
That's a true
interesting.
statement.
I thought that
It's
was
very
important.
interesting.
Mhm.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah. So, that's important. That's important, y'all. And I will definitely plug that episode as well in the show notes because I'm always trying to keep y'all in the loop. I ain't gonna let y'all go. Just go from one episode to the next. Uh, so, all right. Last thing, what are some things that you're most excited about as far as investing in the future? Like, are there any trends that you see that you think might be happening, or any technology that you're excited about that you think could change the landscape or anything?
Right now, I think I spoke about it a little bit. I'm really interested in learning about options and
Mhm.
different things like that. I guess more turning myself into more of like a day trader kind of
Mm.
kind of guy. Sit at the house and and learn those kind of moves and go from there. As far as the landscape of anything else, I'm not really one that looks for the next innovative thing.
Mm,
I I just believe in keeping things simple or really I purchase blue chips. Stick to the things that are already there that are already successful. There's no need in
mhm,
trend off. You always have anomalies and things like that, but for me, I keep
mhm.
it simple. I'm not too big of a risk taker.
Yeah, I respect. Well, that strategy has been working for you, so clearly.
Right.
Reminds me of one more thing I forgot to touch on, and you just weren't gonna mention it. Real estate.
hmm
Had your hand in real estate for a minute. Are you still in real estate?
Yes. So we
Mhm,
still do have rental properties and things of that nature.
mhm,
At the end of the day, land isn't going to go anywhere.
mhm,
People are always gonna need to rent and things of that nature. So it's always
mhm,
something that's good to have. My goal really is to um, set up like a trust fund and
mhm,
allow the real estate and other ventures to be the thing that helps fund my kids' future. So
yeah, yeah. Same goal, same goal. I'm always you have a goal, I'm a little couple of years behind you, but I be following you. I be following you, yeah. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, that's definitely I feel like you definitely have a well-rounded, like, portfolio of investments, and you're very strategic about how you move on things, and that seems to be definitely working for you. Um,
mhm,
and that's something that people often don't think about. Like, you have to spend a lot of time researching, and you have to figure out what kind of investment style works for you and what kind of assets are valuable to you. I found for me, I really enjoy digital assets, stuff that doesn't require me to go anywhere or do anything other than what I can do in front of my computer. So,
right.
like, doing stuff outside of that, I might not stick with it. It might not last. If I can sit on my computer and create something, hey, that'll work for me. So yeah, you have to
Right.
figure out what kind of investment style works for you for sure.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And you got to figure your passions, and you
Yeah.
definitely want to be in something that's not making you happy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do work you enjoy. Life is too it sounds so cliche, but it really is too short to just be doing stuff that you hate. I'm not doing it. I'm not about to come look at in the face of somebody that I don't wanna see every day for 8 hours. I'm not finna do that. So, you gotta figure out a plan that works for you and your goals and your passions for sure.
Absolutely right.
So now we gotta get into the nitty-gritty of what your day looks like as an
Okay.
entrepreneur. So what's your daily workflow like on average, and how has it changed due to the pandemic?
Well, mine hasn't really. Well, since I've been home, I would say mine hasn't really changed much. Every
Mm,
day, I do enjoy being able to wake up in the morning and get the kids out the house and then I start my day as far as like with the trucking company. So as
mhm,
soon as they're out the house, I'm able to, say my prayers, read my Bible a little bit, and really get into my work. Whatever the day's challenges present, I try to, tackle those early with the trucking company, do the money piece, and then by 2 o'clock, I'm leaving to go pick up the kids. So
yeah,
my day goes by pretty fast. I'm trying to squeeze in some, workouts because I can't go to the gym anymore. So,
mm,
well, I don't want to. So,
yeah,
I try to do some video workouts. I won't say the names, but that's what I'm doing now in the middle of the day, and then towards the evening times, try to fit in like 30 minutes to read, 30 minutes to an hour, and
mhm,
watch a little TV and go to bed, and it's back to it again. I'm not
same.
one of these people. I read about a lot of people. They only operate on like 3 hours or 5 hours of sleep. I got to get eight.
Oh my god. Thank you for saying that. I literally had somebody on the show, and he was so dope, but he was like, yeah, he was like, "When you love what you do, you don't wanna sleep." I was like, "Nigga, what?" Jazz gonna take a
Nah,
nap. I need a nap, bro. I need
I,
8 hours.
I can't function. Uh,
No,
and
no,
I've done that for so long. I did that for years. 5 hours, 4 hours, and it was not healthy. Uh,
no.
so I mean,
Yeah,
maybe taking a nap in the daytime or something, but I can't. Nighttime.
yeah. I gotta go to bed too. Like, I mean, and I realistically I don't need a full 8 hours, but I need at least 6.5. I need six
Right.
and a half to function. 6, I might be groggy. Anything less than 6, I'm not gonna be the best version of myself. I'm not gonna like me that day. You're not gonna like me that day. Like, I mean, I need to go to bed. I feel and depending I feel like depending on where you are, like, and where your spiritual journey is, some people believe in, what is it? Not It's not astral projection, y'all. I'm going too deep into my spiritual stuff, but it's lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming. So if you practice lucid dreaming, even if you're not like a spiritualist type person, some people just practice it because they study psychology of sleep and REM sleep and your sleep cycles. But if you
Mhm.
practice that, you can use sleep as a productive time. I know when I was in college, I would use lucid dreaming to help study for tests, because if there was a concept I couldn't understand, I would read about it, study it right before bed, go to sleep, and then would kind of dream about it. If I wait, put myself back to sleep, dream about it, and work out concepts in the morning, I would be able to see it more clearly. Random tangent, but the point is that BS about how if you sleep, you're not productive. That's a part of that toxic American go, go, go culture. Nah, fuck that. I need to sleep.
Yeah, I need REM. I got a dream.
I need real.
I ain't dreaming. It ain't right.
Exactly. I got to sleep. I need my rest, or I'm gonna be no good. My brain just starts shut down. It's like I can't.
Right.
Mm, no, no, no. So I'm glad that you said that. So y'all just heard another very successful person also say that they gotta sleep. So they gotta sleep. So as far as your businesses, what are your favorite tools for managing things? Because you still are running multiple businesses, so you have to use, like, I'm sure you have software, tips, tricks, things that you do to keep yourself on track.
Nah, I just have my laptop for laptop and printer.
Not the printer.
I mean, I don't. I mean, it's just pick up the phone and make a phone call or send an email. It really just depends on what I'm
Mm,
doing. But for me, it's no tricks to it. I mean, I have virtual meetings to where I have a camera here, and it's
mm,
basic for me. It's nothing fancy. I mean,
nothing
we
fancy.
keep it simple and do what we have to do and make the day go.
So you don't have like a special software that's like an assistant? You just like, nah.
Nah.
Carlos.
I don't know if you have some suggestions, maybe
Yeah.
I'll look into it. But I guess what's working for me been working.
Yeah, it's working. I was just saying, hey, I know if sometimes people drop some crazy software that does 80 things for them at one time. I'm like, hey,
Uh,
you like, nah, it's just all manual.
yeah, I get it.
Oh my God. Okay, so as far as workflow patterns and behavior, so one thing I always like to mention is like a problematic behavior in your workflow, and how have you solved for it? Because you may find that I don't know, some people procrastinate, some people have certain errors that they make. If they're a designer, they do the same thing over and over and have to correct it and check themselves. So do you have like a problematic behavior, and how have you solved for it if you do?
I for me, I can't say that right now because I came when I came from working and then I decided, hey, I'm gonna leave my job and I'm just gonna do this full time.
Hmm.
It was a level of stress in the beginning because you're programmed that when you're working for someone else, it's you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing this.
Hmm.
That when I'm working for myself, it's like, okay, what is going on? I need to be doing this. I
Hmm.
had to reprogram. Of course, I came into it with the mindset, the same energy I gave for someone else's business. I gave it here. So when it was
Yes.
kids are at the house and it's time for me to have my butt at the computer doing my work for the business, that's where I'm at, and
Mhm.
I was there, at times. I know starting out, I could be sitting here from 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the evening. So the same energy
Mhm.
you give someone else, if you want your business to be successful, you have to give it to yourself as well, or even more. You know,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
I
I feel
can't
that.
say I have any habits or anything like I can't. I can't think of anything that I had to change
Mm.
with starting into my business because those habits were already, changed while I was working for someone else.
Mm. That's a good call out and think about. Yeah, you do have to yeah, companies definitely do kinda train you out of those bad habits and stuff that you have, like,
Right.
'cause you wanna be
Especially
a
if
high performer.
yeah, you want to be a high performer, So I would say I guess the companies that I've worked for have really trained me well and
Mhm.
prepared me well to be able to take that leap and get out here and venture out on my own.
I love it, yes. Use your day job as training, ground and
Thank
skills
thank
to learn for your own business, exactly.
you. Right.
Yes, live training, so, what's the saying? "I work to fund my businesses." I work to get my stuff off the ground. Like, y'all are the second job. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so what would you say to someone who's like, "Okay, I have multiple side hustles that I've tried, or I have some that I have going. I don't know where to allocate my time." Like, what are some things that you would say to kind of help them focus on what they need to be doing or to better organize, or just any advice that you would provide for them?
I would just prioritize. I mean, you have to see
Mhm,
what's where your demands are.
mhm,
Which side hustle demands so how much it demands from you.
mhm,
It's no need in giving something time that it doesn't demand from you, or spending
mhm,
your time somewhere if it's not if you're not gaining anything out of it. You know,
mm,
no need in beating a dead cat or horse or whatever.
mhm,
If it's not being productive, then you need to exit and move on to the one and put more focus into the one that is productive. And for
mm,
that one that is productive, you get it to a point to where maybe you can make it run and it still make money while you're sleeping, or and you're not having to put too much energy into it. And I'll circle back and even say the one that's not producing as much, maybe you need to bring someone in that can help you understand how to make it produce if you really
mm.
believe it that much. So
Now that's some good advice that I haven't heard drop before. Usually you'll hear, like drop whatever it's not working, but you're like, "No, if you want it to work, bring in an expert to
yeah.
help you. If it'd be worth it." Yeah. That's important to know. That's important to know. I may take some of that advice myself. I have one of my little side hustles is it's a little harder going than I thought. You know, you start something, you like, "Oh, I know you can make money doing that. Imma do that." And then you realize
Yeah.
that, like, you gotta put a lot more effort into it than you thought.
Yeah, this might not be worth it.
You're like I'm like, I was excited because I had to post it on Etsy, and I was excited. I put my little couple of things up on Etsy, and then I was looking at join some groups, and they were like, "Yeah, you gotta put like 100 more of those up." I was like, "For what? Who? I don't have time. Just to sell a few? Nah, I don't have time for
A
that."
lot of energy.
I'm like, "That's a lot of
Yeah.
energy for," but once you get it going, it's going. But yeah, that's a good tip. I might have to take that on myself. You always come in with the tips, though. I always come with the tips. All right. So you already talked about how your work impacts the Black community. What is the overall legacy that you would like to leave? I know you have children. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Um, you know what? I'm still writing that, as far
Mhm,
as my overall legacy. Like I don't really feel like I've reached the peak of who I am yet. So I
mhm,
say, can't really answer. I beat myself up on that question. Like I hadn't really been able to
mhm,
determine what it is that I want to say. I want, left. And so
Mhm.
it's funny because I don't know if I should say this or not, but you know how sometimes you think about your funeral and what people will say about
Mm.
your funeral, and
Mhm.
I think about that a lot, but I hadn't really decided yet. I can't really say that I found the one thing that I feel about myself that I want to leave as my legacy just yet. I
Mhm.
don't know yet. That's
Still trying to figure it out.
still soul searching. Still soul
Yeah. So much humility, Carlos. I love it. I love it. I just love on this show. It's always the guests. It's like y'all be doing the absolute most. And y'all just be like, so I don't really do too much of anything. It's just light work, I'm not. It's like what? Like you doing all this stuff. It's like, no. Humility is key. Humility is key. So that's something they will say at your funeral. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna say it if you go first. I'm gonna say it.
I don't plan on going no time soon.
Oh no, we're gonna be old. No, we got a lot of stuff to do. We got
Yeah.
stuff to do. We got stuff to do. So good. I'm glad that you're still thinking on it. That's an honest answer. That's an honest answer. So, what final advice do you have for any business professionals, entrepreneurs that are trying to carve their own paths?
I the only advice I have to anyone trying to carve their own path, I mean, do your research, learn what it is that you're getting yourself into,
Mm-hmm.
and when you know set a plan up. You can
Hmm.
never not plan enough. Like literally set a plan up. Make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's, and then the last thing is just don't be afraid to take the step. A lot of times people are afraid to just jump in. No, just go for it. You never know what's gonna come out of it until you jump in there. So I mean, I
Mm,
look back and like everything that I have, I don't have anything if I didn't, take the step.
yeah.
So the first thing, do your research, but once you do everything, don't get scared. Just go ahead and jump on out there.
Mm. Just jump on out there. Take the step. Take the step. And if you decide to invest and it's $1.80 a share, buy more than one share. I'll forever kicking myself about that. buy more than just 1, 2, 3 shares. Yeah, no. You gonna eat lunch with that. You gonna eat lunch with that. But yeah, so that's all good advice. I appreciate you taking the time to, share that and encourage people. So I
Yeah.
usually ask where people can keep pace with your journey, but I know you're not much of a social media person. So are there any sites or anything that
I'm a I'm really a ghost.
I
I
know?
mean, I don't even have my picture on LinkedIn.
What? LinkedIn though, really? Wow.
I got a
Wow.
LinkedIn account. I just don't have my picture on there. I mean, you can Google me. I mean, you can you want me to give them a Gmail or something? I mean,
However you feel comfortable being contacted. I guess folks can contact your ghost LinkedIn page. My goodness.
um, we'll figure something out. You can email me. Carlos D Harden at gmail.com. That's CarlosD Harden at gmail.com. Send me any requests or inquiries. Um, that's about all I can think of right now. Now, I do have some things coming. Right now, I'm not in a really public space yet. So
Mhm.
I am working, and when I feel like I'm at a comfortable space, I will, you know, make things more public. But I like a private life.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not on Facebook. I hadn't been on anything for a long time. I mean, you realize like you spend so much time on it, just
Yeah.
browsing and looking at what everybody's got going on, and before you know it, 3 or 4 hours are going by.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the time that you lose on that. But I'm moving into some more spaces to where, social media will be needed. So I will be getting that information out there.
Yes, and when you have it, we will update it in the show notes and on Carlos's webpage on blackxecutive.com where you find this interview. So we definitely want to create this network of creatives. So whatever ventures you end up creating, and entrepreneurs, same difference to me. But anyway, whatever ventures you have, we want to support. And a lot of the audience, they're of the same mindset. So y'all collab, build something together. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Carlos, for taking the time to talk to me this evening and
Yeah.
carving time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah. Thank you, Jazz, for having me on. I really appreciate it. I guess this will be my first of many interviews.
First of many. I like that. Thanks for watching Black Executive. Join the conversation in the comments below and be sure to like and subscribe. You can find a full list of all available podcast episodes on blackxecutive.com or wherever you stream. Until next time, keep aspiring to inspire.